Ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to talk to you about Civet coffee. You've probably heard about this coffee because it is the only coffee to pass through the digestive tract of a kopi luwak before you drink it. This coffee is extremely expensive because of the production process involved in making the coffee. Let's look at the animal first of all. The civet is nocturnal, they tend to live alone, and of course, as I wrote the speech, they are extremely cute animals. These kopi luwak love to go into coffee plantations at night, pig out on all the ripe cherries, and do their business. So one day, a farm worker discovered the excrement of the civet that was full of coffee stones, the stone of the coffee cherry, and he thought, well, the stone is what we need to make coffee, so why not make coffee from the civet excrement coffee stones? And that's what he did. He discovered that the coffee has a unique flavour, which is very rich and unusual. This is because the civet has very special anal scent glands, a bit like a skunk. These are animals that mark their territory, and this gives a unique flavour to the coffee. Doesn't that sound delicious? So this coffee is very unusual, and it was first discovered by a director of Tailors of Harrogate in 1981, when he read a copy of National Geographic magazine that mentioned this type of coffee. And he thought to himself, oh, this sounds funny. Why not brew up some civet coffee and take it to my local radio station in Yorkshire and local newspaper and get them to try it. He thought it would just be a nice article and make some local news, but actually it got very, very popular. The beauty of this coffee is that it is rare, and as we all know, rare objects gain in value, just like diamonds or gold. So civet coffee became very popular. You can now buy it in Harrods, I'm sure you can buy it in Le Bon Marché or in other places in Paris. But what does this mean for the civet? Because at the end of the day, how many civets in the world are running around coffee plantations in peak harvest season eating coffee cherries? Probably not that many. But now, because there's demand for civet coffee, because apparently the scent gland makes for delicious coffee, more and more civets have been caged and are force-fed coffee cherries all year long. Not only are they in horrible conditions, but this is completely against their natural diet, because they're only supposed to eat these coffee cherries at the right time of year, not all day long, every single day for their whole lives. It's completely unnatural, and it's having an awful effect on the animals. This is something that we should really take into consideration when we think, oh, it could be fun to try the latest type of coffee, because now it's not only civet coffee that you can buy. Coffee companies around the world have caught on. And yes, animal digestive habits apparently make for good coffee. So now you can buy coffee that's not only from civets, you can buy it from Thai elephants, Brazilian jacu birds, and bonobo monkeys. I find this very concerning because global production of this type of coffee is ever increasing. For example, civet coffee sells at between 243 to 490 pounds a kilo, and generally only 500 kilograms of this type of coffee could be collected properly per year. But one farm in Indonesia claims that they produce 7,000 kilograms a year from 240 caged civets. Is it only me who thinks about the poor little civet who's force-fed cherries all day long? I really think that we need to question our coffee drinking habits. And it turns out that the director of Tailors of Harrogate agrees with me. He actually feels personally responsible for the whole problem linked to civet coffee because, after all, he's the one who, I guess we can say, got it discovered around the world. So now he has written an article which I suggest that you read. It's rather funny because at the end he says that perhaps the solution would be for him to digest his own coffee beans and try to sell that instead.